Hello, guys. How's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. Thanks for joining me again on the show. Joining us on the show today, we've got Beth Heath. We've spoken to Beth a few times on the show, and we wanted to talk about the food festival, Shrewsbury Food Festival, that's coming. And we've got the best person to speak to about that. Hey, Food Festival.
Yeah, just a week away. Well, yeah, we're starting build this Friday, in fact, actually. But just a week to go until we're on site in the sunshine, getting a tan, listening to live music.
Best of life ever. I like the fact that you put getting a suntan. I like that optimism. I love it.
The forecast is looking good. They promised us a heat wave at the end of August, so I'm going to hold them to that. Be fine.
Where's this blooming heat wave? They keep saying there's going to be a heat wave. I think it's just like go out and buy some trunks and some bikinis and stuff because it's coming. The weather's coming. Keep promising it to us. Yeah, so this is post night shift Alex coming to you, so I'm going to mumble my way through this podcast, but we'll try and get as much information as possible for you lovely listeners. First of all, Beth, congratulations on your big award that you won at Wembley. Do you want to tell us a bit about that? What was that?
That was Women in Business Awards, one of those crazy awards that we had put forward for probably a year ago now, and then the award ceremony had been jumped a couple of times. It was for being a business chameleon. So we have adapted quite a lot over the last year. And it was one of those very crazy moments where my husband Sid was sitting, recording our name up on the screen with Everton Football Club and stuff like that, thinking we had not a Scooby-Doo of winning. When we were driving down, we were like, oh, it's been nice to have a night out in London. Dinner and a hotel, and we don't, obviously haven't been away a lot the last 18 months. And so then he stopped recording once they went, they did the silver winner, and then he just stopped recording because there's our name, we've got the thing we came for. And then they called us, and honestly, that look of absolute shock that you see on people's things, on award things, we just didn't think we had a chance because there was so many big names there. And then, there we were. So it was really cool. And we had a good night.
Well, you definitely deserve an award of that size, of that magnitude, because you do not stop working. You constantly thinking outside the box about these amazing ideas. Obviously, the drive-through festivals last year, amazing idea. Straight out, I was just like, I couldn't believe the initiative that you set for that. So well done. You deserve it. Give yourself
a lot of blood, sweat, and tears this last year, so it was quite nice to have a party. But and my team are absolutely phenomenal. You can't do it without people who've got your back and dot the I's, cross the T's. I wouldn't be able to do any of it without them, and volunteers, of course, because they're just wicked.
Yeah, would you say that's a recipe for a good ingredient? See, again, post night shift, Alex, can't talk. Do you think that's a key ingredient to successful businesses, having the best people around you that you can possibly get?
Yeah, I think having people who have different skill sets. So we're quite a diverse team, and actually we've all got, obviously everybody in the whole world's got strengths in different areas, but a kind of carefully chosen team where people are very good at different things, but the most important thing is the amount of passion they have. So it's not just my business, it's my name on a piece of paper, but these guys live and breathe it as much as I do. And actually, without that, they wouldn't put the blood, sweat and tears that they put into it. It's way more than a job. I know it is. I'm very grateful for the fact that it is, because if they all clocked off at 5 o'clock, we wouldn't have a business. So it's they enable the impossible to happen. So I might come up with some ideas, but they're the ones that often have to be helping carry those ideas through. So they're ace. Love them.
I was chatting to Joe Cunningham, who's doing the folk festival last week, and we released it on Monday. And I mentioned you, actually. I mentioned the Mile of Smiles, and I mentioned how I was trying to grab you for conversation, or which we're chatting. You were like, "Yeah, hold on, phone call, gotta go over here." You're constantly on the move. You're constantly, you're running this thing. But I did notice you, because this is what I do. I observe things and I bring it to the forefront. I noticed the Mile of Smiles that you just stood when the music was on the stage, and I could just see you just taking it in. It was like a moment where you just seemed to stop, pause, and we made this happen. Yeah. Is that the reward there for you did this?
Yeah, every single festival. So I always say to the girls, at some point over the weekend, you'll see me sitting on the hill at Food Festival, Oktoberfest, obviously, usually on stage behind the band where people can't really see me, kind of going, oh my gosh, we did this. We made all these people smile. We brought people together. Look at all those kids playing in a circus, or look at those families who haven't actually been out chatting to grandparents and the kids are running around and they're making memories, and we're enabling that to happen. And that's the point behind a business. It sounds really cheesy, but I like making things happen for people. You know, I think event organisers often are people that like to be behind the scenes a bit more. People may think I'm quite an outgoing personality. I still absolutely catch myself when I go into a networking thing and I have to go and introduce myself to people. But because I prefer being backstage, I prefer making it so other people can have a good time. But yeah, you have to, at some point over an event, stop and go, this is why we do it. This is why that early morning this morning was worthwhile, or, you know, the sleepless nights, whatever else. There's a reason behind it. And it's not a job, it's a way of life. And it's what we choose to do. So, yeah, I could work in Asda, especially this last year, and earn a heck of a lot more than I earn doing events. But it's definitely a way of life, and it's what we've chosen to do, stupidly or not.
And you know, I didn't find it bizarre, because knowing you and the team, I can understand why. But you know, you put the free event on for Mile of Smiles, and you know, obviously, I was like, wow. I mean, you'd really struggled terribly through lockdown and the pandemic and stuff. And I was like, doing a free festival. But do you think that's it's good for like PR? There's lots of people talking on social media. Mile of Smiles, there's like Shropshire Festivals. Has that helped you? Do you think?
I just want people to. So the point behind Mile of Smiles is, when I used to be a bit bizarre, but I think I said to you at the time, I used to go to dentists and we used to have this poem on the wall, and I quite like the idea of when you start a smile, you start a whole pandemic of smiles rather than a pandemic of COVID, and smiles are a lot healthier. So you kind of go, actually, if we can get people back out for a reason to kind of remember that live entertainment is something that we do. You know, when you talk about the drive-in theatre last year, we were determined not to do cinema because it wasn't us. We're all about performance, about interactivity and experiential stuff. And so Mile of Smiles was getting people back into the quarry, into the town centre, shopping locally, increasing footfall. And if they come out back when they did in July, then they'll come out again for the food festival, because we give all of them a leaflet. And it's a bit of a marketing exercise. The bid obviously supported it, and we got some of the Restart grant from the Shropshire Council, and so they helped with that for their Invest in Shropshire grant. And we didn't need, my staff are working anyway, and so I'm paying them regardless, and they're used to extra work being thrown at them. So for me, it was just more work, but the end point of that was that we managed to deliver an event that was brilliant fun and that people could just come to. And sometimes we get criticised because there's not enough free events. We can't put on free events. We're a business at the end of the day. But if there's some pots of money around, then I'm more than happy to go for those pots of money, knowing that we can do something nice for the community. And hopefully there'll be more of that stuff to come. Also, from a business perspective point of view, it makes a point that I can prove to the council and whoever else that people want this stuff. And then they come out, they enjoy it, it increases footfall. We know that the footfall went up on that weekend because of the footfall counters in Shrewsbury Town Centre. We were up by 20% on other weekends. So that's huge. That's several thousand more people coming into the Town Centre because we put something on a Sunday. We didn't do it on a Saturday because it's traditionally busier anyway in town. So we did it on a Sunday because footfall's down a bit on a Sunday. You know, there's got to be a reason behind everything, but predominantly the reason for that one was the fact we've had a rubbish 18 months and I wanted to make people smile.
and you did. You certainly made us smile. Our little show at the outside studio, it was fantastic. Honestly, I was like, this is what I wanted to do. You know, that's what the Biscuit is supposed to be. It's supposed to be events like this. And that was the first time, well, you know, that first weekend was the first time we had a mobile studio, and my heart was just grew 3 times. I was like the Grinch. There we go. So thank you.
It's a bigger at the food festival, can't it?
Yeah, we will do. But we're not going to take because the problem we had was with the mobile studio was if I wanted to go and walk around, I couldn't just leave all my equipment there because I'm a trustworthy guy, but people walk around and grab so I just we're going to walk around the food festival with microphones and get real stuck in, and we're going to get speak to some of the vendors, some of the cooks, some of the people there, some of you guys. I'll grab you when you're free. It'll be very, very good. So food festival.
Yes.
Yeah. But you couldn't do it last year. You didn't do it last year, obviously. What does that mean for this year? Is there like a rollover of events? People that were supposed to be there last year that want to come again, and what can we expect?
Yeah, so you can expect a food festival pretty much like it usually would be in June. It's obviously had to be jumped a lot of times. We've lost a couple of exhibitors along the way, which is really sad because they're small businesses as well. We've gained a few new ones because people have started new businesses while they've been on furlough and given up their old jobs. There'll be a few tweaks to it, to what there usually is. I've had a lot of thinking time. So we've got a new field to fork area. We did field to fork festival at Harper Adams a couple of years ago, and that was epic. Again, a free event. They were paying us to do it. And I did agriculture at university, which is something not many people know about. And so that kind of back to your roots is quite important from a food and drink perspective to me. So the field to fork area will take you on a journey through making a pizza, right from where the wheat comes out the ground to how that journey goes, where does your milk come from, where do your tomatoes come from, all of that. And so obviously that's aimed at children, but there's quite a lot of adults that don't understand the journey as well. I sometimes, when I'm chatting to the girls here, I can't understand why they don't know what happens in a combine harvester, for example. So we'll have some big tractors there. We'll also have some vintage tractors there. We'll have you can milk a cow. We'll obviously have the piglets there like we usually do. But that kind of new area, as you walk into the festival through the top gates, is brand new, and there's going to be shed loads of stuff to do. The NFU are going to be there, Harper Adams are there, the Agri-Food Project. And so we've got some people who really know what they're talking about. I want to make this bigger and better every year from a field to fork perspective. It's something that not enough shows focus on. Again, because it doesn't make any money, no one's selling anything. But there'll be loads of games to take part in. You can see about robotic milking. You better put on VR headsets and, farmer field, see drone farming. It's phenomenal what Harper Adams are doing, and they're going to bring all of that to actually explain to other people how it works. Then we've also got new this year, just trying to think of the new things. We've got gin school with Shropshire Distillery. Those guys are amazing. You need to go out. Do you like gin?
I'm on keto, and gin is keto friendly, so whoop.
Okay, we'll get you a gin tasting session over there because you make your own gin over at Shropshire Distillery. I went over a few weeks ago and it was phenomenal. But they're going to be doing gin tastings at the festival, so that's cool. We've got Huntington Bakery who are doing hands-on bakery stuff. So you can actually, when those cakes look amazing and I've got no hope of doing that ever, that's to teach you to do it. And then we've got a massive, Timmy's going to love this, massive circus tent from Panic Circus. And that's all the kids stuff is free. That is really important to me. I have 2 small children. There is nothing more annoying than being at a festival with a kid going, Mum, can I have another pound? Can I have another pound? And by the time you get to the end of the day, you spent 50 quid and you paid to get in, and it's really annoying. We don't have any of that. The kids stuff is all free. So we've got Tennis Shropshire there, we've got Shrewsbury Family Community, we've got Panic Circus, we've got Sand Pits, we've got a poetry workshop going on, we've got art classes, we've got storytelling. There's loads and loads and loads of stuff for kids. And then we've got all the old favourites as well. You can cook along with the chef in the kitchen depot stage. You've got the chef school, you've got the chef stage, that's Shropshire Distillery stage this year. You've got Hencoat doing wine tasting. I'm just looking at my map so we can tell me what's on. We've got, again, just so much stuff. And obviously a big live music stage, because what is better than sitting on a hill in the sunshine, drinking a beer, listening to live music?
Yeah, sounds like my perfect evening. Genuinely, sounds great. Yeah, I can't believe that. You managed to get all this. I guess there's lots of businesses or small when it comes to the chefs and all those kind of things that have been sat there ready and raring to get out. Has that helped you a lot?
It's been an interesting one, because I think any business that's trying to work out what to do through the last couple of months. People will think the world's reopened. It has, but the problem with everybody's got is staffing. So we've got chefs that can't manage to, staff the kitchen, so then they can't come all of a sudden. So we've had some changes to chef rota. We work with Chris Burt from The Mint and Mermaid, who is the best bloke in the world after Alex, of course. And Chris can sort out absolutely anything when it comes to chef world. And so he's been calling in favours left, right and centre, and we've got the best lineup. And a lot of those chefs will come year after year. And obviously we've got Stuart from Docket 33, and he's a big name, being on Great British Menu. And, these guys are local. One of the things when I started this festival was I didn't want to have big celebrity chefs. People coming to see celebrities isn't what I'm about. I want people to come because they're interested in amazing local food. Then they can go and eat in those restaurants because they like what the bloke said, or they like the way that woman cooked something. It's about real. It's not about some celebrity chef who you've got no chance ever that you want to just come so you can sign your book. That's not what our food festival is about. It's about meeting the local producers, chatting to them, finding out why that cheese biscuit is the most impressive cheese biscuit in the world is because they source it, they make it, they do whatever. You can chat to a producer, you find out about their passion, which means you understand the whole journey better. And it's the same with the chefs.
It's why I got a deep love for Adam Purnell, Shropshire lad, because not only is he a great advocate for Shropshire producers of food, he's brilliant. He's just naturally gifted at what he does. I tried to do a cook along with him once to make his strawberry cheesecake wings. And he was like, yeah, you do the egg, and then you do the flour, and then you do this, that, and he made it look so. My hands were full of dough. I made dough for some reason because he was just so quick at doing these things. He's just brilliant at what he does. So yeah, it'd be great to be around that because I haven't been around him live cooking, obviously with the pandemic. Yeah, this all sounds very, very exciting. What's the feedback been like from the public?
Ticket sales have been amazing. We were just laughing in the office because the weather forecast is looking good up till Friday next week. And so I can't sleep until Saturday says it's going to be sunny at the food festival. And then our tickets go insane. It happens every year. It's one of those things. And I get it. I've got 2 small children, as I say. You don't want to be coming out for a family day out if it's peeing with rain. We went to Minsterley Show at the weekend. It was phenomenal. Peed it down on us. But we still had an amazing day. So, actually, there's all of those things where you kind of go, does it matter about the weather? Yes, it does, because it makes you have a better day out. And the public have been really supportive. And the people that are worried about coming out into crowds, don't worry. That's all I can say on that, really. I don't know if I can be any more kind of clear on that. We've got loads of hand sanitising stations. The food festival was one of those events that was very COVID friendly anyway. It's all outside. It's big open-sided tents. There's no squashed-in marquees. You're able just to be away from other people if you want to be. But, all of the store holders will be testing. We're obviously an events team always testing. And people who come will hopefully test in advance, and we're advising that. They don't have to show a COVID passport. Shropshire as a county is a very good county for uptake of vaccine. So we're quite lucky with that. But yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, the opening weekend for the Premier League, and you've seen Old Trafford absolutely brim full. An open air festival, like you said, it's perfectly designed for. You can be as safe as you want to be, can't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And speaking of the weather, I mean, my wife she surprised me with a trip to Barmouth over the weekend, and it was like we had this rain for like 2 days, but it was really weird. Like whenever we wanted to go outside, it would stop raining. We'd go inside, it'd rain. We'd go outside, it'd stop raining. We were so lucky. Got these gaps in the weather. It's just one of those things that I really appreciate. What are you looking forward?
What am I looking forward to? What am I looking forward to? I am looking forward to just being back in a field, having had no sleep, and sitting there on the hill and going, oh my goodness, we did that. We've got 2 new members of the team, because obviously it's been a hard year with staffing, but that being able to see all of the team back together again, and that's again, and I always sound so cheesy when I do these interviews with you, but the volunteers who I haven't seen maybe for a year, they'll be back doing it with us, and some of them are a bit like family. Lots of them were in Miles Smiles with us and things, which is great. But you know, the exhibitors I haven't seen for 2 years, and I've been running food festivals for 20 years now in Shropshire. Some of these guys I have known for that, like since my first ever festival, and you just kind of go, there's a lot of love in a festival before it even opens, and you know, I can't wait to see those people, to have everybody back, and to feel like my business is restarting again, because it's been a bit kind of hiccupy the last few months, and we've obviously got Food Festival, then we've got Oktoberfest in a month's time, so it's going to be a bit of a stressy month, and we've got a couple of corporate things in between, but it's what we do, and actually we need to get our mojo back on and crack on with what we do for a living. This is how we earn our living, so getting back to it will be a huge relief, and once I've done it, I can stop having a gazillion emails a day. Should be quite nice. I'm not. What I'm doing with Pod Aid isn't like anywhere near what you're doing, but it's a lot more ambitious than I realized it was going to be. And the ball of stress that sits in my chest constantly, because I'm like trying to get the schedule sorted and trying to get the sponsors in and making sure we've got the equipment. I honestly, it's a huge undertaking. And when it comes to the newbies, but what I'm really interested in is what that first festival they get to work with when they first turn up, that initiation. What's that like for them? Well, ask him after. You can do one with Katie, maybe, who's just started with us. So Katie is on the event side. She's actually been to a Shrewsbury Food Festival as a punter and actually working with Aaron Child doing some video stuff. So you're kind of going, actually, she's seen it, so she kind of has got a feeling for it. Helen, who's my other new lady, who only started yesterday, in fact, never been before and new to Shropshire. So came on the Tasty Trail and loved it. Didn't know anything about Shropshire Festivals before Tasty Trail. But actually, what's it going to be like for her? What I want them to say, and what I've said to both of them, is I want them to approach it and look at what we're doing wrong. Sometimes when you've been doing something for 20 years, something's really obvious to someone who's not been before. You know, we learn every year, and the best suggestions come off people who go, why don't you do this? I'm like, I have absolutely no ideas because I've never thought of it. Until someone tells me, we get my volunteers, because they see things that I would never see. They pick up ideas off people. We've got a dog creche because somebody went, well, why don't you just have somewhere for dogs to stay? Yes, why don't we? So
great.
Some Dogs Trust and now come along and run a dog creche. You know, my favourite job over a festival weekend actually is changing toilet rolls, because nobody knows it's my event, and I can stand there and just chatter to people about where they come from, how they find out about it, what do they think. They don't realise that I own a company because I'm there changing loo roll. I'm going, yay, it's busy enough that I need to change the loo roll. That means there's lots of people on site, and I get to chatter. And that is one of my favourite times, bizarrely, in stinky portaloos, clearing them out and changing loo rolls, because I can chat to people and find out what they're really thinking. And you learn so much from doing that.
Okay, so if I need to get an interview with you at the food festival, I'm just going to hang around the toilets and I'll be like, that biscuit guy, just hanging around the girls' toilets.
Yeah, exactly. That's the place to be. We've actually, one of the winning situations this year has been, we've always wanted to get a sponsor for the toilets, because they're the 3 times visited place at the festival that everyone always overlooks. And you know how when you were little, you used to see the to let signs, and you used to just put an eye in the middle. So Monks are sponsoring the to lets this year. So best seats in the house. So we're quite little small wins this year, and they've worked with us for years. But it's going to be ace.
Oh, that's brilliant! That's really clever. I really like that. Learning things all the time, and I love that you every single festival that you do is new, and you're learning these new ideas, because I imagine after a few years you might get complacent. You might be like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, don't you worry. Whereas you guys, you're constantly learning and improving things all the time. That's really nice to see. Sorry, there was a bit of an echo, right? What is when it comes to doing a festival, what I'd like to know is, have you got memorable moments, both nightmares and good? Is there something that you always remember that was just an absolute flipping nightmare you'll never forget?
Yeah. So Snowfest, we call it. So Winter Festival 3 years ago, probably longer than that ago now, actually. I'm kind of blocking it out of my brain. We did 3 winter festivals. One we dubbed as Mudfest because it rained so much. We destroyed the whole top of the quarry and we had to returf, very expensive. Then we had a really good winter festival. So if you sit on the grass below St Chad's, that's my grass, that is. I paid for that. And then we had a brilliant one, which conned me into thinking that winter festivals are okay. And then we had the year where there was that really high snow. We were running a festival in that, where people said, don't travel, don't go anywhere. We probably ran that festival on 2 hours of sleep. I had girls camping in camper vans in the quarry, in marquees. We had to cut gutters because they were full of snow. We lost about £40,000 that weekend because we just had it. But off the flip side of that, massive learning curve that weather doesn't stop for anybody. But the flip side of that is we had our suppliers, like our toilet guys, our waste people, our security, who they got together in their little groups and went, you know what, we're not charging you for this weekend. All of us are going to give our time for free, and we're just going to charge you for the very basic costs that it's cost us. But us as human beings are not going to charge you because we've worked together for years. And then the coffee bloke who came in at like 5 a.m. because he knew we'd been working through the night to move all the stalls and bought us all breakfast and came and did free coffees. Brian, who used to have drink up. You know, those moments, although they're part of your worst moments, part of your best moments too, because you learn a lot, and you realise that actually it's a big family, that those exhibitors, when you walk past them and they can see you're at breaking point, they pass you a pastry because your sugar levels are crashing and they know that you need to keep going. Those are also the best moments because these guys are your friends and they actually do care. It's more than just a festival or anything else. And I think best moments are sitting on that hill in the sunshine at Shrewsbury Food Festival, or watching my kids go down the water slide in the sunshine at Food Festival. Sunshine is related to a lot of my best moments.
I know Jules, a fellow biscuiteer, has worked with you a few times, and she says she's very positive about when she comes to volunteer for you, and it must be that positive atmosphere that you guys bring, because she's always got nice things to say about when she comes to work with you guys. So hats off. Yeah,
thanks. Yeah. It's lovely. And like I said, those volunteers are the people that make it work. So I'm a very, very small part of a massive machine. And I think it's very hard when you become a face of something, or people always want to have a podcast with me. There's a lot of guys that are behind this that are not seen, and I always feel very guilty. You're getting an award at Wembley, and you're kind of going, it's a bit fraudulent to be standing up here and taking this award because it ain't just me. Really, really isn't.
I mean, Scorsese wins an award for a film he's made. There's the producers and the editors and all these sort of things. You just got to say thanks, because if it wasn't for you, you are running the show there, and they got your amazing colleagues that work with you, and so well done to you and the whole team. Seriously, you do a great thing. You really do, and it's not easy. It's not been easy for you. I want the listeners to realise that are listening to this now, if you don't know already, which you probably do, but your sector wasn't really helped for a long time during COVID. The last bit you were, but it must have been really hard. So you're getting just rewards. Words, Whiteley. Jesus Christ.
Well, if it's sunny this weekend, next weekend we will get our just rewards, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And the planning process, it must be really difficult now with you not knowing. I mean, these things take a year to make, so I mean, next year you kind of you must be just go for it, or you got to be cautious. How are you going to do that?
We're hell for leather going for it. We're glass half full here. I honestly think that the government offering festival insurance backup guarantees means that they are pretty much planning that they ain't locking down because of COVID again. I mean, obviously there isn't any guarantee. I know that cases are still going up and, unfortunately people are still getting poorly, but as a country, as an events industry, we're more than what people see on the ground. You know, we are the guys who are running the stages, the people who are cleaning the toilets, people who are picking up litter. There's so many levels of the sectors that we're supporting, the hotels where people are staying when they come, the cafes that they're buying a coffee from on their way into the festival, the cars they're renting, the taxis they're using as they go home. There's so much more to a tourism sector than we give credit to. You know, I haven't got the figures to hand, but you know, there's millions of pounds brought into the economy on a festival weekend by the very fact that we exist. And then if they come to Shrewsbury for the day, maybe they're just coming on a train line. We get a lot of people up and down train line, Wolverhampton and Oswestry and Chester. But those people may come back again for a weekend because they've loved Shrewsbury so much. So you've got no way of being able to measure that knock-on effect. The events industry, I teach events at Shrewsbury University a day a week as well. And you know, when we're talking to the students about why events are important, why it's important to have something like the Commonwealth Games coming to Birmingham, that's going to help Shrewsbury massively. You know, those knock-on effects are huge, and people have to see outside of, yeah, it's a pain in the neck, and I'm really sorry that we bring a lot of cars into Shrewsbury and it's a pain to park that weekend. But actually, that knock-on effect from that, a bit of annoyance, is huge, and it means that, you know, our quality of life is better as a result.
Yeah, this is why you're amazing. You're great at what you do, honestly, and what you bring to the town is fantastic. You know, and you help, you know, podcasters get great content. You know, I'm just saying, yeah, it's great. We all win when Beth Heath is around. Right, Beth, we're running out of time. I know you got things to do. Your phone's going off and stuff like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end it. I'll let you go and get on with your day. I'm going to release this on Monday. So, where can people find tickets if they want to buy them?
So just shrewsburyfoodfestival.co.uk. We've got adult tickets, family tickets, weekend tickets. They're kind of starting from £16 for a adult ticket for the day. And for that, as I said, everything when you come in, so you buy your food and drink, but essentially everything else is free. So you can have an absolutely phenomenal day out, and your kids get to do stuff for free, which is great. And while you're there, remember to buy Oktoberfest tickets too, because you might as well buy them both at the same time. ShropshireOktoberfest.co.uk, biggest party in Shropshire.
It's amazing. I can't wait. I'm so excited for Oktoberfest. It's like a few days after Pod Aid. I'm going to be so tired still, but I'm going to be like, yeah, Oktoberfest, let's do this.
Yeah, well, it's Oktoberfest. I know we've got to go, but I'll just leave you with this. We're doing 45 minutes of all the celebrations you've missed. So we'll be starting off with Burns Night and smashing through to Old Lang Syne in a tent of drunk people. So we'll have birthday party songs, we'll have wedding songs, we'll have everything. So you can celebrate with the people you're going with at Oktoberfest. It's going to be epic.
Wow, I can't wait. No, I'm so excited. I really am. Well, Beth, you're amazing. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. I'll let you go. And well done to everybody at Shropshire Festivals. I think you're all amazing. Keep doing the great work that you do.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll see you later. Right, so that was Beth. I let her go because she's very busy. The office is crazy. They're working their magic. But before I go, I need to tell you guys about what we're doing with Pod Aid. I'm going to keep banging this drum, guys, because we got to get this thing done. Like I said, this event is a lot more ambitious than I thought it was going to be. We're working around the clock, trying to make sure the schedule is up to date. That we're trying to get the sponsors in that we need to get. Making sure the cameras work and the mics all work together, making sure the stream, all this sort of stuff. It's a 24-hour thing. So I would love your support. Pod Aid is coming in, this big bad thing. It's on the 29th of September, and on 9 a.m. on that day, we're going to go live on a YouTube stream, and we're not going to stop until 9 a.m. on the 30th of September, which is International Podcast Day. And this is why I did this. I wanted to coordinate with that. And Dave Lee from International Podcast Day is going to join us on the show. It's going to be fantastic. We've got 24-hour-long guests lined up throughout the whole schedule. The guest sheet is just fantastic. If I bring it up now, we've got technology. How great is that? We have the guys from Lincoln Davis coming in. We have Kevin Horrock the author coming in. Dean Harris is coming in. She's amazing. I'm a big fan of hers. Kelda Wood is coming. We have the mayor is going to stop by and say hello. Charlie Adlard is definitely going to come in, which means I'm going to turn into a shy 16-year-old girl. I don't know why that happens, but it does. Smash Life will come in. Beth, who you just heard, she's coming to sit and speak to us. We have Charlie Adler. Charlie Adler is one of the most highly respected voice actors on the planet, and he's going to be there. We have Adam Pennell, Shropshire lad. He's going to be there. Couple more. We have Mark Summers. Mark Summers is one of the most famous TV hosts in America. He was there for the launch of Nickelodeon. He did Double Dare, and he did Unwrapped on the Food Network as well. He helped launch the Food Network. Very well-renowned TV host. There's so much going on, guys. There's so much going on with Pod Aid. So, we're doing this thing to raise money for Lincoln Davis. I wanted to do something good for our community, but not just that. I wanted to encourage others to do good things too. So this Pod Aid is like an introduction to what we're planning. So we're going to do this thing. We're going to show people that we can do something positive in our community. Then next year, we're going to challenge people to do the best thing that they possibly can for their community. So whether it's a podcast, whether you've got a vlog, whether it's even a blog, whatever it is you do, gaming, if you've got game streaming, if you want to take part in Pod Aid next year, we will hear you and we will give you out all the information you need to do to make that possible. We have our sponsors with Reach. They're helping us out. They've done our logos, doing our marketing, social media. They're doing amazing there. We have our venue thanks to Shrewsbury Town community. We're using their Reach Community Hub. We have our website thanks to Web Orchard. So there's lots going on. And if you want to find out everything you need to know about Pod Aid, please go to our website, which is the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. All of our audio is available on the website. So if you don't want to listen to this through Spotify or iTunes, whatever, you can go straight to the website and you can press play. There is actually a way as well of turning that website into a little app for your phone. So if you go to the little three dot, if you use Chrome and you press the three dots at the top of the screen and you go to Tools and then you press Create Shortcut, you can actually create a little app thing for your phone. So you can have a Shrewsbury Biscuit there ready. Anyway, I'm rambling. This is because I've filled myself up with caffeine after a night shift and done this podcast with Beth. This has been fantastic. Beth is awesome. I always love chatting to her. We are going to be at the food festival, and I hope to see you guys there too. If you see me in my biscuit t-shirt with a microphone and you want to come and say hello, please do. I'm a very nice guy. I'm outgoing and I'd love to speak to you, whether it's on the mic or off the mic. Just come and say hello. Right, I'm going to go because I'm rambling. I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.